The lost thing comes to life when the narrator speaks to it. Connection with the narrator results in the thing becoming animated rather than depressed. And although it is bulky, alien, its movement and related sounds are not threatening. It has dainty tentacles and walks on tiptoe claws. It does not have a face other than an eye. The associated tinkling sound and junk percussive sounds made by the creature emphasizes it is non-threatening and gentle. It is represented as a gentle, approachable creature despite its large alien appearance. Despite the apparently bizarre appearance of the thing, the narrator continues to adopt a dry, matter-of-fact tone, which is in keeping with the purposeful life that he lives.
Hello?
The thing initiates play by throwing a ball to the narrator. The thing's related movement and the upbeat underscore represent the scene's mood as playful. The narrator plays with the thing for most of the afternoon. The connection between them, showing through cooperative play, visually contrasts with the inaction and indifference portrayed elsewhere in the beach scene, along with the invisibility of the others.
It turned out to be really friendly, and I played with the thing for most of the afternoon. It was great fun, yet the whole time I couldn't help feeling that something wasn't quite right.
A siren signals the end of the day and the purposeful departure of background characters from the beach continuing their solitary lives. The underscore is replaced with diegetic sounds of umbrellas closing, a bird squawking, human movement. The world is otherwise silent. The narrator and thing are now visually paired with the narrator standing on top of the thing. The stillness of the duo is contrasted with the purposeful, singular departure of others in the scene. Their preoccupation with their own interests continues to blind them not only to the thing, but to the narrator as well.
As the hours slouched by, it seemed less and less likely that anyone was coming to take the thing home. Soon there was no denying the unhappy truth. It was lost.
The underscore segues into the scene as the duo then leave it together. Sad, reflective music cues the shift in mood as the narrator tries to help the lost thing find where it belongs. The underscore, combined with the apparent blindness of adults in the scene, aware of the thing, highlights the isolation and disconnection in this society. Only the dog is aware of the thing. At about the 3 minutes 39 seconds into the short film, one of the frames shows a child throwing a ball at another person, but this attempt at connection goes unnoticed. The ball bounces off the other person, who appears to be indifferent to the child's attempt at connection, and bounces into the next frame, unnoticed by others.
I asked a few people if they knew anything about it.
Now, I'm going to refer to the narrator as Sean because at the very end, there's a postcard that identifies the narrator. So the narrator is identified as Sean. So Sean's artistic friend Pete serves as a contrast to the conformity of other characters and human figures in the film. The swirly, colourful lines depicted in Pete's artwork suggest that he sees the world differently and is willing to look at it from different perspectives, a point emphasised by him sitting on the roof of a house and looking over the neighbourhood and Sean noting that he has an opinion about everything. Now, Pete's dialogue in the animation also reveals he's willing to suggest alternative ways of seeing issues and is comfortable with uncertainty. Maybe it doesn't belong to anybody. Maybe it doesn't come from anywhere. Even though Pete contrasts to other people in this world, he is still constrained by the society he lives in, as can be noted by the plumbing images on his shirt and his standard response. All physical manifestations can be identified empirically. The transition from the medium shot of Sean and Pete on the rooftops to long shots reveals a world of conformity represented by the sameness of the buildings. It is a surreal, treeless world covered in plumbing, concrete and machinery. The thing is represented as out of place in this world.
I took the lost thing over to Pete's place. Pete has an opinion on just about everything. Cool, he said. Pete didn't know what the thing was exactly, but he said what he always does, that all physical manifestations could be identified empirically through careful observation, calibrated measurement and controlled experimentation. Shrugged. He didn't think the lost thing came from anywhere and didn't belong anywhere either. Some things are like that, he said. They're just plain lost.
The home scene shows the lack of emotional connection between family members. It also shows the parental reaction to the lost thing. They are uncaring in contrast to the narrator. The parents express their concerns about the lost things present. The narrator tells the audience, "They both wanted me to take it back to where I found it." The parents are indifferent, though, to the thing's plight, in contrast to the narrator, who expressively states, "But it is lost." The compassion with which the narrator speaks highlights his bond to and concern for the thing. His expression of emotion contrasts with the lack of emotional expression in this world, and the narrator cannot abandon the thing or leave it wandering the streets. This makes him different from the adults in his world.
There was nothing left to do but take the thing home with me. As for my parents, well, they already knew that Mum would be concerned about how filthy its feet were. And that Dad would be worried about all sorts of strange diseases. And they both just wanted me to take it back to where I found it. But it's lost, I said. Not that it made any difference.
In the darkened shed, the use of light-hearted, delicate, accompanying the interaction with the narrator contrasts with the lack of warmth in the previous family scene. As the narrator feeds the thing, it's a nurturing behaviour, the music becomes upbeat.
I decided to hide the thing in our back shed, at least until I could figure out what to do next. I mean, I couldn't just leave it wandering the streets. lost thing seemed happy then, but I sure couldn't keep it in the shed forever. Mum or Dad would eventually notice it when they came out looking for a hammer or something. It was a real dilemma.
Are you finding that the order of day-to-day life is unexpectedly disrupted? Do you suffer from unclaimed property? Objects without name? Troublesome artifacts of unknown origin? Things that just don't belong? Don't panic. We've got a pigeonhole to stick it in. The Federal Department of Odds and Ends.
The next morning, we caught a tram all the way into the city.